sugar. Quinn, Brandon, nice. Who were giving their reports did an awesome job of speaking loud and proud. And don't be worried if I ask you to do your report a second time, because that just means that maybe it needed to be a little louder so we could hear it. Joss did that yesterday, didn't she? I think, didn't you? And the second time it was so loud we could hear everything.
And Sydney.
And Sydney did it too. And they did a good job. So, let's go ahead and we're going to have Cindy go first. Before we start, Nysa, what is your sister's name?
Samiha.
Say it again.
Samiha.
Samiha? She is so cute. Isn't she cute? It's so fun to have her here.
What do you say, Sammy? Thank you.
Just say, okay, Mama. She's going to watch you. You get to have lots of people watching you. All right, so here's what I'm going to ask. I'm going to ask that we not turn around and look behind, that we focus on the people that are up here. Okay, Joss? All right. And Cindy, I'm going to hold this up.
Okay.
And hold your owl up.
Okay.
And loud and proud and go nice and slow.
Okay. I am a snowy owl. I live in the Arctic. This is what I look like. I am white with sometimes brown spots and bars. I have yellow eyes. I have white feathers on my legs and feet. I eat lemmings, mice, rabbits, seabirds, and fish. My enemies are humans, foxes, jaegers, which is a giant bird, dogs, wolves, and other bird predators. One very interesting fact you may not know about me is I am the largest bird species in the Arctic.
Before we give her a round of applause, I'm going to have you read this one again a little slower and louder. That part right there. Hold him up.
My enemies are humans, foxes, jaegers, which is a kind of bird, dogs, wolves, and other bird predators.
Wow, hold him up and let's give her a round of applause. Okay, now.
It's made of the stuff that you use to make a towel, but it's not made out of a towel.
Before we have questions, comments, or connections, why don't you tell us anything you'd like to tell us about your puppet? So how did you put it together?
First, I went to my grandma and grandpa's house, and I used their sewing machine to sew it, and
so you cut it out of
I cut it out of machine, and I cut out some lights. But first, I drawed a leg, then I cut it out with the stuff that I was making it with behind it, and I drawed some eyes, and I cut it out, and
are the eyes and the beak sewn on, or are they glued?
They're glued on.
And how did you know how big to make this so around your hand?
We traced around my hands.
Very clever. Okay. Who has a question, comment, or connection for Cindy?
Samantha.
I like how you was thinking to make the sewing.
Oh. That was a really good idea. Erica?
Your puppet looks cute.
I know.
You're the kind
One
dad.
more. Oh, Dad's got one.
Cindy, what did you use to cut it out?
We used stuff that you use to make towels.
I guess. What did you cut it with?
Scissors.
Okay.
Oh, you got a couple more maybe.
Did you look on the computer or did you read it from a book?
On the computer.
Did you see lots of pictures of the snowy
we saw
owl?
some with a little bit of gray on the wings, and one was all white.
And one more person.
Two.
Well, we don't have time for everybody. Remember, we have to just make a choice.
Sydney, how did you make the claws?
Well, my mom cut out a lot of triangles, and then I decided which ones to put on.
and you glued them.
Yeah.
Okay. We're going to say that's all for now. Oh, but Cindy, I get to ask one. I'd like to make a comment and a connection. I like the way you said a name that I had never heard before and you explained it. What was this thing again?
A jager is a kind of bird. That was on my report.
Really? And the jagers are birds that actually are predators and try to eat snowy
Yeah.
owls. Wow.
What?
They try to eat snowy owls. And the other thing is, you eat lemmings. And lemmings were an animal that we talked about that is on the tundra. So I bet the snowy owl spends a lot of time on the tundra. Yes,
Yes.
kind of a rodent. All right, let us give Cindy another round of applause. Okay, and let's take Mr. Snowy Owl, and he can be the first watcher today, and everybody else. He's going to sit right here. There he
He's
is.
gonna be hard to put up on the wall.
I'll put maybe a cup underneath him. He'll be great. And I'm going to keep this because I'm going to type it up. Good job.